Okay, let's talk nature. Because when I think about you, I think about the Grand Canyon. That's how it works. In my head, Sarah, Grand Canyon. What's so healing about nature?
So when we experience awe and wonder, it's one of the most important emotions that we can feel. So it literally slows the frontal part of our brain, the executive part of our brain, which we, as you know, being the trauma brain expert, and everybody's listened to you, I'm sure. If they haven't, go do it. That part of our brain it's working all the time. And so getting ourselves out into nature slows the frontal lobe. It allows the back part of our brain, the cerebellum, to rise, which is where we have creativity, which is where we experience that awe, that wonder, that soft fascination of nature. Difficult moments, like the hard moments that we live through, right? That's where we tend to ruminate, and it pulls us out of the story and allows us to actually sit in what is possible. That's the best way that I can explain the power of nature. Now, it lessens anxiety. There's so many other things that it does as well, right? And so we ground ourselves to Mother Earth, and we feel calm. We feel present. We feel in the moment. We get to experience things like witnessing ants doing their thing, right? Sitting in wonder of like, how many million ants live in community with each other, right? And they're not fighting, they're just doing their thing, building whatever it is that they're building. And so it gets us out of the story and lets us sit in the story of something so much larger than ourselves.
Now, you mentioned something earlier that you're about to teach me something here. You mentioned a difference between water healing and land healing. So teach us about this, please.
Oh, it's so cool. So when I'm grounding people in the earth, with the earth, one of the best things that we can do is actually walk on the earth without our shoes on.
Bare feet.
And we all know about, you have, it's like you're rooted to the earth in a different kind of way. Okay. You can actually open your senses to everything. All of your senses begin to open, and we don't live in constriction. We live in openness and surrendering. And so being grounded to the earth is very different than water healing, because water is definitely more cleansing. So when I'm taking people up in Alaska, the best way that I can explain it, and keeping it very simple, is that it's more of a celebration. You're more of a cleansing of your heart and your soul through the power, the force of water, versus through the force of, or the grounding of the earth. Okay. And so, by the way, did you know that the sound of the ocean wave is one of the most harmonic sounds, the most healing harmonic sounds that you can listen to calm yourself?
I believe it.
So just like, even just simply listening to the sounds of waves is healing in and of itself.
That's amazing. It's to me, I've always thought about breath work when I hear the sound of a wave. Like I want to sync up with it, and so I didn't know that, but it intuitively feels true to me. Wow, that is fascinating.
It's very, and we could go into facts after facts, but that's keeping it very simple. That's the most simple way of putting it.
Okay.